No, it's not live yet. So.
Should be going live.
We are live.
Shortly. We are live. Whoa.
Woo!
Thanks for joining us tonight, guys, on another episode of Saturday Spoilers. You might notice that we have a guest star, Johnny Cash, the plastic man in black himself. Yeah, you laughed. That was hilarious. And you'll also notice that we have Sam, the Sam, as a guest star this week because of Cyborg. Cyborg is kind of his guy. So he wanted to be on here to share his thoughts and opinions on the book, even though they're all false. No. And let's start out with tonight's Saturday spoiler. Get this back on the main frame. Is Cyborg issue 1. Just came out this week. That is the A cover. It is a pretty sharp looking cover. Well, Pat, I need it this way. That way I can read it. Yep. We've got the B cover. Who's our artist on there? Normally I've got it in my
Rainy. Or Ranny.
It's under your
Are you
thumb
sure?
right
No, I think it's a.
Tom, variant cover created by Tom Ranny and Michael Atier.
So we've got a Tom Rainey cover there. Next cover we've got
We've got
another variant.
This one's the variant by Jorge Corona and Sarah Stern.
And we got one more variant there, the 1:25 ratio.
That one's done by Nicholas Draper Ivy.
All right.
Woohoo!
Well, that's a weird one. There. Back to how we normally are. Is that normally how we are?
That's
that.
that.
One big. Like that?
Yes.
There, look at
There
that.
we
Learning
go.
technology.
Now we're cooking with gas.
So without further ado, how about we just pop this book open and get right to it?
Probably shouldn't have that in the way of the.
Yeah, that'd be a.
We start at Hart Plaza, Detroit, Michigan. A couple of kids running a marathon with just 2 people. He goes, then you see a couple of villains up on the rooftop there. Tell me the
You
plan.
can, if you want to.
All right.
So we can follow along.
Yeah.
Tell me the plan one more time, Giz. Don't worry about the plan, Mammoth. I'll do the dirty work. Just watch my back. This job will prove we can do things on our own. Because of course, Giz. My eyes on the prize. Ice cream. And one kid asks the other one, why's yours green? He goes, it's matcha. It tastes like green tea. And Mammoth comes falling in right behind him. I love matcha.
Matcha's very good.
Yo, Whiskers.
Yo, Whiskers is like, oh, it's the Robot Man. It's like, no, dummy, that's Cyborg. He goes, appreciate you, Max. Good seeing you again. Call back to DC Power, a celebration #1, which should be over on our gray racks. So come and grab that if you want to hear what was going on between Cyborg and Max before this issue.
Should I go pause? Yep, I went 1 page too soon. Sorry.
Now we can see Max.
Yep.
And Cyborg's awesome arm cannon. Gizmo comes flying by. Keep him busy, meathead. The charges need time. It's like, Gizmo and Mammoth, this feels like a high school reunion. Someone goes, I thought you left Detroit, Russ Brockett. Cyborg is getting a call from Sarah Charles. It's like, not now, Sarah. Decline call. Mammoth. Is Mammoth just an idiot?
Well, Mammoth is just the muscle of the Fatal Five, Teen Titans group villain, group team.
So he's the idiot?
Yeah, he's just like the muscle. Yeah, just like the.
Okay. Mammoth's an idiot. That explains why he wants to eat matcha off the ground.
I see that more as he's just like matcha. He's just like, bemoaning.
He's going to be eating that. No.
You think so?
It's not him being sad.
Oh,
No.
okay.
You're like, matcha, no.
That's
matcha.
No, I don't eat that matcha.
Oh, if we bring pizza and when I'm eating dairy, you can look into my eyes and you'll see that look. Pizza.
Yeah.
Cyborg goes, I've got an alien teleportation device fused into my body, bro. I'm always just a boom tube away, just like your new cell at Star Labs. And uses his boom tube ability, making Gizmo fly. Did he fly into a cell?
Yeah, he teleported him into a cell.
It's like, how do I fall for that every time? Mammoth gets up, see, look at that matcha frothing at his mouth. He just ate it off the ground.
That's gross.
Kids are like, did you see that? Like, it was cool, but it ain't him. And must be Max. He's like, that's Victor Stone, 3-time high school national football champ, Mr. Basketball of Michigan, and 4-time Golden Gloves winner. If anyone is him, it's him. Cyborg's got one text message from Sarah Charles as he's punching Mammoth in the face. Booyah. His catchphrase there. The charges go off on the building. He's holding it up.
Trevor, say that better.
Booyah.
Yeah, you gotta go.
Booyah!
Booyah! Like do like that.
Booyah!
There you go. There you go.
So the building's following. He catches the building. He's now got 3 text messages from Sarah Charles. He tells the kids, y'all should move as this building's about to fall on him. He's got some sort of, was that a freeze gun or something?
Yeah, like
gun?
maybe like some foam, like to keep it up. Something like that.
Foam's not going to keep a building up.
Oh yeah, like impact foam. Yeah, whatever.
He's got foam. He's keeping up a building. It's like Paste Spot Pete on steroids.
Yeah.
Which, if you guys get that reference, shout out to you. It's like, okay, maybe it is him. He's got another call from Sarah Charles. It's like, Sarah, what is wrong? Turn the page. We got DC Pride 2023. Bunch of great writers on this book with some great artists covering Pride throughout the years. Now, Pride throughout the years is a separate one. You got DC Pride and then you got DC Pride through the years. That one's going to have a lot of reprints in it of when different characters came out.
I always love DC Pride because sometimes these characters won't get anything other until the next DC Pride.
Just shows how much people care about the characters.
Well, it's just like Jess Quick. It was like only in like one book a year. It's like it's always DC Pride.
I don't even know who that is.
It's the Flash character in there.
I don't even know the character such as how important it is.
All right.
No, if you're a fan of what was his name again?
Jess Quick. It's
Jess Quick.
It's they.
They.
They're they.
Is a they. If you're a fan of theirs, shout out to you. Come pick up the book. It looks like they will be in it. I just don't pick it up because I hate anthologies. Anybody who knows me knows I hate anthologies.
Kind of fun. I like an anthology. But yeah, they're kind of a long read sometimes though. So
See, they're long reading. The stories don't normally build anything, so there's no continuity, no point. If you guys enjoy them, great for you. Come pick that up in June. Right? I think that was the release date.
Yes.
Yeah. I would assume so. Silas Stone's office at Star Labs. I spent a lot of time with your father. He gave me this job right out of college, and I haven't had a weekday without him since. Yet somehow he still died alone. Whoa. That got dark real fast.
Right?
Like, 1 minute we got great superhero action, saving the day, and then Silas Stone died alone. Whoa.
it's a fitting thing for a Cyborg book. It's like
It is.
It's a really fun thing, and then like we're gonna hit you hard.
So, like, I'm never late, but today I was. I reviewed the security footage, and he was alive for 10 minutes after the heart attack. This just keeps getting worse. I could have saved his life in those 10 minutes, I'm sure of it. It's like, I know he was like a father to you.
She's really like putting that on herself.
Yeah.
Like just something that has like just randomly happens. She's just like, it was on me.
It's like, I know he was like a father to you. It's like, it's that same vague stoicism that ended our relationship, Vic. He may have been like a father to me, but he was your father. I knew I should have called you sooner. He goes, what do you mean? She goes, I know you've been back in Detroit. You're too smart to play dumb, Vic. You think it's hard to trace a boom tube's energy signature? I didn't tell him that you were here, but I should have. Maybe you two could have worked something out for once. It's like, that's not your responsibility, Sarah. If you knew I was here, so did he. The ball's been in his court for years. All he had to do was acknowledge all that he took from me. Then maybe we could have tried to work through things. But he chose to stay silent. It's like, he loved you in his own way. I hope you know that. He goes, my mom loved me. My dad, he saw my potential. She goes, you promise me you'll be at the funeral, if not for Silas, for yourself. It's like, I will be there. City Boy, issue 1 is actually on the... No, it's not on the wall yet. That'll be coming up soon. It was Vigil that came out this week.
Mm-hmm.
The City Boy #1 spinning out of the... Was it Spirit World? Was that the name of the one?
Yeah, it was like a We Are Legends.
We Are
Spirit
Legends.
World. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The We Are Legends free comic book day issue. So come pick that up too. It was a fun read. I enjoyed it. And I'm looking forward to reading City Boy. Live. Cyborg back in Detroit. Hey y'all, it's Giselle Green. Detroit, it's time to do better. Because I know that's not who I think it is. She's going off on Cyborg. Got this whole thing, Gizmo and Mammoth. She's giving a shout out to, is that the governor? Jamie Korksman is a attorney. So if you were hurt during any of that, Jamie Corksman has your back. Rain, sleet, snow, or superpowered suffering, call 1-555 I am hurt for a free consultation.
He's kind of like Doom Patrol, but specifically for Detroit's superhero things. Yeah. He didn't. Also, the comments on the side were always kind of funny as you read those.
Were kind of funny.
Yeah.
Now I'm just kind of flying through it just because it's a recap of what we just saw. Now it's time for your dumbass of the day. As you know, this is a show about Detroit. Not the one you see in the movies, but the one that people like me and you live in every day. Detroit is changing before our eyes, and this man, roboticist? That's a new word.
Roboticist?
Roboticist?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you pronounce better than me. Turned techie Marcus Wilcox is a big reason why. Displacement as a result of gentrification isn't new here, but because of Marcus' new company, Solus, it's moving fast. Solus aims to give you answers to a successful life. You send them your spit, and they hit you back with a meal plan, workout routine, dating pool, and career path. Pretty dope, right? Actually, that sounds pretty nice.
I wouldn't do that. That would kind of freak me out, though.
I want my dating pool.
I don't like. They're gonna send just no. I wouldn't do that. That'd be a little weird for me.
Dude, I have not had a good dating pool ever, so it'd be nice if they could tell me which pool I should be in. Go here and go find someone.
I don't know if I trust weird scientists with that knowledge, though.
I trust the internet every time I download an app. Some company over in China's got all my information because I'm lonely and hopeless. Wrong. Talking about him now. We sending spit to CEOs now? That's what we're doing? Marcus seems to help out Detroit and put them back on the map, but he's pushing families out of their homes. And for what? Because people are too lazy to figure out that they need to eat a salad every once in a while. Miss me with that. I don't even know what that means.
It just says miss me with that. Don't want that in my life.
I don't know what that means.
It's like
the girl says.
She's saying it's like if you don't want cheese on your stuff, you go miss me with that cheese. I don't want it.
It's nice to have a younger perception, younger look at this because I don't understand any of this.
You kept missing the he's him stuff too. I thought that was kind of fun. Like when you were reading it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, you just gonna glance over that? All right.
It wasn't that important.
All right.
They're trying to figure out if it's Victor Stone. It is Victor Stone. Anybody who knows who Cyborg is knows it's Victor Stone. You can't hide a giant computer on your face.
Good.
Yeah,
actually they did.
He has been able to do that.
Yeah. And an older one, he was at the wedding for what's her face back in the New Teen Titans or something. Back in it's 80s stuff.
Mm.
And he had to hide that he was a cyborg. And everybody was talking to him and being normal. He thought it was nice, but it's also weird because he wasn't showing himself.
Mm. And if he usually wants to go incognito, otherwise he'll just put a big hood on.
Yeah.
And then he's 6'7" though, so it's nah, I don't know about that, man.
Just play basketball. I wish I could. I have a computer. 1 week later. It's nice to see you in person for a change, Victor. I just wish I was under better circumstances. How are you feeling? It's I'm fine, Dr. Sutton. Are you still writing your journal? Obviously not by the silence that he gives her. I kind of fell off after my mom's birthday. She goes, I hope you'll consider picking it back up. We've made some powerful breakthroughs regarding your mother. You have more balance in your life as a result. You never talk about your father. Would you like to share? Or what would you like to share? He goes, fine, what do you want to hear? He goes, fine, what do you want to hear? She goes, what would you like to share? Like the funeral.
Spirit world.
He gives us eulogy. Silas Stone was a lot of things to a lot of people. He and my mother, Eleanor Stone, were both dedicated to pushing society forward with science, ingenuity, and undeniable genius. But I wanted to inspire as an athlete. My mom was cool with that. Dad, not so much. He used to say to me, by God, son, I've had such great dreams for you. You've got the stuff of brilliance. Like I was letting him down by having my own aspirations. My dad was so concerned with the future, he had a hard time being in the present. After my accident and the death of my mother, he got his dream. Suddenly, he could mold me just how he always wanted. But his dream was my nightmare. He was ecstatic when I was a member of the Justice League. That was no place for a teenager, especially not one as angry and confused with his new body. Joining the Teen Titans helped me process that anger. I was around other kids I could relate to, and I was accepted and valued for who I was. My friends became my second family, and for once it was like I had my own agency. Dad tried to patch things up by building us a dope clubhouse, hoping to win back my trust. But the man had placed a trap so he could keep an eye on me, evidence that I was wasting my potential. That was who my dad was, and I had to accept that. My father was a brilliant scientist and a fierce advocate for diversity. He left legacies beyond me that will be serving humanity for generations. He was a lot of things to a lot of people, but I just wish he could have been more of a father. Batman, the Brave and the Bold. That was out this week.
Yep.
So come and check that out. That is probably where a new Batman movie in a few years is going to be spinning into. They've titled it The Brave and the Bold.
Mm-hmm.
So then you've got Victor Stone, surrounded by the Justice League. Beast Boy reassuring that
surrounded by the Titans plus
Titans,
the Flash.
not Justice League. My bad. The Teen Titans. I'm tired. You need anything? Let us know, bro. We're here for you, Victor. Because we're heading back to Bloodhaven, but we'll let you know when we need you. Thanks to Boom Tubes, the commute from Bloodhaven to Detroit is a breeze. For more Cyborg adventures, pick up Titans #1, which was also out this week. I haven't read that one yet, but I'm looking forward to it. And somebody's approaching Cyborg. Excuse me, Vic, my name's Marcus. You may not remember me, but we went to Ford High together. Very sorry for your loss. You're kind to me during those rough times. Because I remember you. You always tucked in your shirts. It's like, obviously going in for the handshake.
He had to play it off. Yeah, I thought that was great.
Your father was integral to me getting my company, Solus, off the ground. I wouldn't be where I was without him. It sounds like Silas. You should stop by sometime. I think you'd dig it. Silas still has some things in the office, too. Cyborg goes, thanks for coming, but that was his business. I've learned the farther away I am from my dad's business, the better. Vigil. Spinning out of We Are Legends. That was the one that came out this week, so come check that out. Could be another fun read. Back to him talking to his therapist. You said a whole lot there, except how you feel. He goes, you want me to say that I feel better because my distant dad's heart gave out? It's like, do you want to say that? This where it's even darker. He says, I do feel better, which makes me feel worse. He took my choices from me and turned me into this, against my will. Even though he did so to save my life, it wasn't my choice. My father was a great man to a lot of people. I'm not one of them. With the League disbanded, everyone's counting on the Titans to keep the world safe. My friends and I have been waiting for this since we were kids. I'm supposed to represent something bigger than myself, but now I find it harder to even look in a mirror. I don't have anyone to point my anger to anymore. She goes, then maybe it's time to let your anger go. Back at Detroit, he hasn't been back to the house in years, not since his mom died. There's a robot walking up the street. People are wondering what it is or who it is. Figures that it's got to be a Solus food delivery bot. It's kind of like an Uber, some sort of food Uber.
Mm-hmm.
There's a word for that, Grubhub. I always just call it food Uber.
I mean, there's Uber Eats for that, though.
Mm-hmm.
Is there such a thing?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
There's a little food Uber. That's so cool.
I would also want someone to not make robots to deliver food too. That'd also be a little creepy for me.
It would.
No, thank you.
So Victor's walking around the house and notices that the furniture is dusty. Like, people have not been here in a while. Car crashes are happening because robots are walking down the middle of the street. And Victor is writing in his journal. My one happy place in this house was my room. The only 4 walls of privacy where I could be myself, completely unfiltered. I worked out here, I studied here, I found peace here.
Smash.
Robot smashes down the door, walks up the stairs. Cyborg goes, stop. What are you, and what are you doing here? Robot's looking at him like, Vic, and usually, the same person, Victor, his father. My God, son, you've got the stuff of brilliance. That is issue #1, written by Morgan Hampton, artist Tom Rainey, colors by Michael Adio, letters by Rob Lay. Edwin Calmore did the A cover, the one I'm holding. Cyborg was created by Marv Wolfman and George Perez. On the back there, we got oh, that's right. Al Gaffey, 1921 to 2023, had passed away just this year.
He was
the man on the back.
102. He was 102 years old, man.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
On the back, we got Titans #1. So come check that out. That is on the shelves right now.
And the AEW All Access.
Yeah, we don't care about the AEW.
And then the Flash
The
with
Flash.
with the Batwing above him.
Yep, that should be a fun movie. So, thoughts on the book, guys? I've been talking enough. Especially.
Well, let Sam, since he said he had opinions.
I got opinions. This book is a lot of.
Can you switch the camera?
This book is a lot of yes and no's for me, because in the same like,
that works.
if you're kind of a concurrent reader of Cyborg.
Whoa.
What's going on, guys?
I'm just messing around.
Making us big.
Okay.
That's me. That's
Making
me
it big. Like if you're a concurrent reader of Cyborg, like me and maybe 2 other people in the world are, I've heard this story before where he's sad about becoming a robot man and he's mad at his father. This is like the 2nd to 3rd time we've had this plot, and every time the run ends, he resolves and like I was like, maybe I'll just accept that I'm a robot man and I'll be happy. There's been multiple times where that has happened, and every time they bring him a new Cyborg 1 again, they're like, how dare I be a robot man? It's like it's the same plot every time with it. And I mean, they're like 4 years to 5, almost 7 years apart every time they do it. So if you're just getting a Cyborg, it's a good plot to go with. But for guys like me, and I know I'm the minority on it, it's like kind of annoying. But they did bring some interesting parts into it where it's like his dad dying, but then being a robot, that does fit Silas Stone. He's a big jerk, but he wouldn't let himself die purely because his feeble human body. In a previous arc, he literally like conquered like life and created artificial life by using like generated cells. So he could probably make a body. So I could see something happening where he like now he understands his son now because he's a robot. It's like, wow, what have I done to you, Vic? That's kind of interesting. And what they did with saying, because when they did New 52 and they decided, all right, Cyborg's now part of the Justice League, and he never was part of the Titans, that was kind of like a weird dynamic for a lot of people because he was always a Titan.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just throw him on this, like it never, like all this never happened, like kind of ruining a lot of that character development.
Well, I always thought it was kind of weird that with Cyborg being a part of the Justice League during that was kind of like you have what you originally thought of the Justice League, and then you have this young kind of buck, as you would kind of say, being a part of the Justice League, having this weird. It was a weird dynamic for me.
Yeah,
just having him a part of it.
He's like, what if you like just graduated high school and now you're working with a bunch of like 35-year-olds saving the world?
Right.
It's a little weird, but like I feel they did a good thing here where they're just like, hey, he was part of the Justice League, but it just didn't fit him. So he went to go be with people of his peers, which makes sense, you know, like you want to be part of people kind of similar age as you, and that's what the Titans was. So they kind of like rounded that square a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was kind of interesting, and the book is like, it's a lot of yeses and nos. So sadly, it's like a 3. But so for a first issue, kind of whelming, but I do see it maybe getting better as it goes. So it's like a 3 for me.
Okay.
All right. Well, I guess with I thought it was a pretty good story. Basically diving into my first Cyborg because I had never read anything in the previous. But like you said, in the New 52, when he was all of a sudden a part of this, the Justice League, instead of what we were used to, or when I was used to for when I was a kid, just having, you know, the usuals, Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, all of them. And then all of a sudden, instead of, well, Firestorm was kind of interesting when they had him in the Justice League, but in a lot of sense, when you didn't have a lot of Firestorm, you had Cyborg in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, it's weird kind of thing. But
they always try that with like Justice Leagues. Remember Aztec in the 90s?
Sure.
Aztec was in there for a little bit, and it's like they always try the young character, whatever it is for the time.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, and then you have Billy Batson and all that with the more you think about it, him being a kid but also an adult. But with this story, I thought it was really cool that they brought everything full circle with the whole thing, bringing up, like you said, the Teen Titans, and then him being a part of the Justice League, and stuff like that. And it just thinking on a lot of my knowledge, other than what I've read, just when I watched the TV show Teen Titans before it became Teen Titans Go.
Completely different show, yeah.
Just having that whole thing where you didn't get that feel when he was amongst his peers. You didn't have that whole he hated himself for being a robot anymore, because he was a part of people that he could be around with and accepted him for who he was. So having that in this story was awesome to me. I'd probably be on the same route. I probably would say, just because it's not something that I would probably dive into a little bit more, just because good story front cover to cover, but just not something that would keep me intrigued like what we've read in the past. I'd probably be in that 3 out of 5 as well. So
I'm probably coming out at the same way. It's my first Cyborg story. I've had him in Teen Titans and stuff like that in the past. And Cyborg, just like any other Teen Titan, just feels like a supporting character. If you bring them all together, they can tell a good story. But separately, all they really get is these limited series. There's not a lot to tell. They're a supporting cast. They're sidekicks.
I mean, that's literally how the Titans were created. They were just like, I don't know, put them all together on a team, call it good.
Yep. So giving them their own roster of villains and stuff is, works. But for a standalone story, it's probably a good thing that this is just a limited series, because you're going to run out real fast. They'll resolve the plot, and it's good to go. It's not something that I'm probably going to keep picking up, just because I have enough on my plate already to read.
Yeah.
That's just not one that speaks to me. It was a great entry, and the part with his dad dying definitely came out of nowhere.
Right.
If you are new to Cyborg, I guess this book would ring a bit like better for somebody. But for me, it's just like I've been here.
And I've read enough Cyborg in the past, being part of the Teen Titans, to know where I like my Cyborg to be.
Well, maybe he's better, and maybe like the Titans book, you'd like that more. Maybe since he's part of the ensemble.
Right. Well, and when it came to this Estelle Green news segment, Do Better Detroit, it's like
felt like a knockoff of a Spawn book.
Right, but
bad knockoff.
It to me, it just seemed like an I understand it kind of filled some context that not everybody likes Cyborg. It's empty. So
no, I just didn't want you to spill it.
But anyway, but at the same time, it just seems like kind of unnecessary at the same time. Yes, it brings in this lawyer here guy. What was his name? Jamie Korkmaz.
Yeah, and he might be referenced later on.
Right, but it just seems like it's kind of like those news shows, whether it's CNN, Fox News, or whatever. It's just Jameson. Or the Jameson from the most recent movie where it's the cyber show. It is just like, to me, that fit kind of just because they tried to modernize Jameson, but this just seemed annoying and just unnecessary.
Could have filled out with 2 more pages of Mammoth getting his face pounded in.
Yeah, or him just or just liking him, having him eat more matcha.
Yeah.
Right, and instead of it being like her own show, have it be there where she's on site interviewing him for a couple of different.
I can see that would have been better. She could still be hating on him, but
right.
And you wouldn't have to have like such like a long press of just her like the face of the panel.
Yeah.
And
right.
It's like, I can see what you're saying.
Like, and that's one of the things that really kind of turns me away from news shows like CNN, Fox News, stuff like that, is just having that one segment where it's one person complaining about why life is shitty.
Yeah.
And so it's like, come on, man.
The editorial side of it.
I understand that is today, but it's still annoying to me.
Yeah.
So
you don't want to read in your book.
Right.
Yep. That's why I read comic books. It's escapist literature. It gets me out of the world for a couple minutes.
Right. This whole section here, I thought actually was really cool. It wasn't your natural reading.
They weaved it too.
And the whole weaving. I was like, when he started reading and weaving, I'm like, wait, where's that? Oh, it's up here. So, but yeah, it worked kind of like a whole.
Why do you think Cyborg needs glasses? That's my question on that. His eyes are robotic. Why does he need those?
Are they real glasses or are they sunglasses? Well, I guess in a lot of sense, why would he need them as?
Yeah, so, just something a little stylish, maybe.
I guess maybe they're like the reading glasses that really you don't, they're just fake kind of thing, fake lenses.
Aviators, why not, right?
But yeah, all in all, pretty good story. I'm assuming 3, 3. What was yours?
Mine was 3.2, so it's a solid 3.
So a good solid average score.
Yeah. It's a great place to start if you're just getting into Cyborg. But for those of us who actually know who he is, a little bit deeper would have been nicer.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun story, though.
I'm going to continue to read it because, Cyborg, I gotta read everything my boy is. But if you're looking for anything other than like kind of the same stuff that you might have gotten in the show, or maybe you read another thing, maybe you read some Tights books back in the day, you're gonna get the same like pathos he has had in like a couple other books and stuff that he's already resolved, but they're gonna bring back because it's it's the one story they feel like they can tell with Cyborg.
Right. Well, and unfortunately, it's because of the whole restart. Dawn of DC. So
you got to restart everything.
I guess. Yeah.
Give them all new origins.
I want them to bring back the villain hate bit though, like a digital version. A guy who just his powers are 8-bit, turns everything to like an 8-bit like Space Invaders thing. But they put an H on his name. It's like he's hate-bit because he hates Victor Stone. It's like, that's so dumb. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
It's in issue 11 of the Rebirth run. If you want to read that, we also have that in the store.
Should, yeah.
Yeah. No, we do. I checked.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
All right.
Research.
Yeah.
Well, with that, I think we'll close down the show for the night. That way we can get home and we can let you guys get on with your evenings. Thank you again for joining us tonight as we read Cyborg issue 1. Tune in next week, and
thank you, Johnny Cash, for joining us.
Yeah,
thank
the
you,
Man in
Johnny.
Black.
And
thank you to our special guest star, Johnny Cash, for joining us, and the Sam.
And also having the Sam in house.
The Cyborg aficionado.
Thanks for letting me join you guys.
Most of you would remember him from last week for being our live studio audience.
Yep.
So decided to be in front of the camera this time.
The quiet voice in the background.
No, it wasn't quiet.
I wasn't quiet. No, I was boisterous.
The voice in the background. So thank you again for joining us tonight. Like I've always said, if you see something on the wall that you want us to check out, feel free to lift it up to anybody working that day. We normally decide our books Thursday nights. So if you come in on Wednesdays or Thursday mornings, check out that wall and let us know if there's something that you would like to see us review. With that, I think we will be signing out. Mike Trout.
Mike Trout.
Mike Trout.
Let's try this again. Mike Trout.
Mike Trout.
Mike Trout.
That's better. We'll work on it.
All right. I was not aware of Mike Trout.
Mike Trout.
Mike Trout.
Mike Trout.
And with that, we are out. Have a good evening.